One of the biggest names in gaming, guys, the company behind FIFA, Battlefield, The Sims, just sold itself for $55 billion, and not to another gaming giant, but to a group led by Saudi Arabia's Public Investment Fund, with Jared Kushner somehow in the mix. This isn't just another business deal, guys. The video game industry has already been in a bit of a crisis. If you haven't noticed, there's been layoffs, cancellations, rising prices, publishers doubling down on microtransactions, lots of anti-consumer stuff going on, and it feels like every week there's another story going around that's making gamers lose trust. And now EA, one of the biggest publishers in the world, has agreed to be taken private in this massive $55 billion acquisition. This is a tweet from Pirate Nation where I saw it announced on Twitter. It says, breaking, EA announces agreement to be acquired by PIF, Silver Lake, and Affinity partners for $55 billion, guys. That's $55 billion with a B. This is a huge acquisition for just one company, EA, who, in my opinion, sure they have Madden, sure they have all the other sports titles you can think of, but they've kind of been a little underwhelming as of late as the rest of their franchises that they make with video games for. So for $55 billion to suddenly, be paid to them to be acquired, that's wild, in my opinion. So yeah, this was the trending news today, and you can see here's, I guess, a quick little press release. EA announces agreement to be acquired by them, accelerates EA's strategic vision to advance the future of entertainment. Stockholders to receive $210 per share in cash, representing 25% premium to unaffected share price. Transaction represents largest all-cash sponsored take private investment in history. Makes me wish I would have had some EA shares, doesn't it? Doesn't it make you wish you had some EA shares? So let's look at some of these reactions. We got Kata, shout outs to them. Says we can only hope they just let people make games again and not get more slop, which I'm on board for that. Hopefully now that they're private, we won't see as much slop from them. DEI, whatever nonsense we've been seeing. Hopefully. You can see no room for wokeness, says no more ESG DEI nonsense. Sagram says, why is this breaking? Who are these companies? Are they leftist aligned or the same? It's breaking because EA is now private. And this is bigger than a lot of people need to know. And I actually speculated about a year or so ago that Saudi Arabia is going to be buying up a lot more companies, possibly even like Ubisoft and others. They want to get their foothold in the Western gaming industry, whether you believe it or not. They want to get their foothold into the Western gaming industry. And there was even a little bit of a speculation on my part where I was like, maybe they're funding DEI to some of these companies so that those companies' prices tank and then they go and buy it for cheap. But that's a whole other conspiracy conversation we're going to have here. But yeah, $55 billion at this point, guys. And the CEO actually made a statement saying that their values and their commitment to players and fans around the world remain unchanged. They're excited to continue as CEO, working alongside our leadership team to advance our strategy. United by our vision, we will deliver experiences that transcend platforms and empower players everywhere to create worlds, characters, and stories that are bold, interactive, and deeply connected, which is a lot of nothing, guys. Every time you see one of these speeches from CEOs after some kind of huge acquisition or some kind of buyout or whatever, it's a whole lot of nothing. It's a lot of artsy, creative speak. I mean, Smash JT even hit the nail on the head right here, saying, AKA, pack it up, you're all fired. Andy Pant says literally nothing was said. And yeah, the layoffs are expected soon here, guys. 110%. Don't be surprised if some layoffs are happening. So let's go ahead and take a look at this article from IGN of all places. But it says EA goes private and $55 billion deal with PIF, Silver Lake, and Affinity partners, right? And it is making its rounds. They can say it's confirmed it's agreed to be acquired by an investor group. And what's interesting enough is some of the people that are in here could definitely play a huge role in the history of the gaming industry. But you can see it says it's the largest all-cash sponsor take private investment in history. And under the terms of the agreement, the group will acquire 100% of EA. So there's no majority minority owners. It's 100% of it, with Saudi Arabia's public investment fund rolling over its existing 9.9 stake in the company. And following the close of it, common stock will no longer be listed on the public market. Again, I wish I had some common stock for 210 a pop. And then here's the statement. So this is bigger than a lot of you guys are realizing, especially because Donald Trump's son-in-law is involved. Like I said, this is going to affect the gaming industry immensely, and it's going to be interesting to see where it goes. Things get scary because when a company stops being publicly traded, it usually means one of two things, guys. The people in charge want less oversight. They don't have to listen to shareholders. They don't have to listen to anything like that. Or they want to quickly and quietly gut the company for profit. And I'm thinking it's going to be that. I'm thinking we're going to see some layoffs here. Now, here's what we know. Again, EA is being acquired by this group, which includes PIF, Silver Lake, Affinity Partners. Saudi Arabia's investment fund has already got about a 10% stake in EA, but now they're fully taking over it. So they got the whole enchilada, and the stockholders are cashing out at $210 per share, which is a premium over EA's previous high. Once the deal closes, the stock is going to cease to exist. So no more votes by shareholders, no more quarterly reports, just whatever the new owners want to do behind closed doors. And this is where I guess some of the concern comes into play, because EA already has a reputation for squeezing studios, milking franchises, pushing microtransactions. We've heard every single bad thing about them. They had $20 billion of debt financing on the line, essentially, and the new owners are going to be desperate to make money fast. So they spent $55 billion, guys. There's $20 billion of debt financing on that. They're going to want to make their money back quick. That usually means more monetization, more predatory systems in the games, more layoffs. Again, they're probably going to lay off some people, so don't be surprised if projects like Dragon Age or Mass Effect get gutted or they get heavily censored in the process coming up in the near future. Especially Saudi Arabia being involved, I can see some changes being made to some of the games. When billions of dollars are on the line, guys, artistic risk are usually the first thing to go. We've seen Chinese companies like Tencent quietly buying stakes in publishers around the world, and the Saudis are now doing the same thing. This is something that I've been speculating on for quite some time, but they're doing it on a much larger scale, guys. The Saudi prince has been open about their love for gaming, and PIF has been pouring billions into the industry for years already. This deal is just the loudest, the most obvious step yet. Again, the biggest all-cash sponsor, like, take private investment in history. They're not even hiding it yet, right? This is the loudest, most obvious step, like I said. And the uncomfortable truth about this is if EA can be bought, so can Ubisoft, so can Take-Two, maybe even Square Enix, maybe, who knows, Capcom. Once one domino falls, guys, the rest are usually going to follow here. If Saudi Arabia keeps buying up gaming companies and studios, things are going to change around here. And Jared Kushner, yes, Donald Trump's son-in-law, is involved with his investment ties, which make this more interested, because a lot lately people have been worried about U.S. politics getting tangled up in gaming. To be clear, we know that the government has always kept their eye on video games. Remember the Mortal Kombat era and all that? We've had decades of politicians blaming violence on video games, but what's new here is how deep political money might actually be getting embedded directly into the industry here. This is like a potential for political money to get into the gaming industry, and that could change how companies like EA completely operate, especially in ways that we can't fully predict yet. Now, there is a slim chance that this could go well. Maybe they're going to cut waste, maybe they're going to cancel a project that nobody wants or cares about, and they're going to actually refocus on making great games. So it's okay to be hopeful. It's okay to point out that EA has kind of improved a little bit over the past few years, but is it a little too late? I don't know. Battlefield seems like they're going to be making a comeback. Skate's going free to play, and some of their decisions haven't been as bad as EA from a few years ago. Remember how bad 2019 EA was? But I do believe that this acquisition is going to, especially, I don't know, for the short term, have them double down on bad habits because they got to make some money back. That's a $55 billion acquisition here. They got to go live service. They got to go full monetization. They might even throw NFTs back out there and use AI to cut jobs and lay off people. I mean, there's potential here for some of that. You know, I don't buy that this acquisition is going to magically change the company overnight, guys. Not at all. They're not going to be fixed. So there's still a lot of chances that they could be going into bad habits. But here's the thing. Why should you care, right? Even if you hate EA, this deal matters because, again, like I said, one gaming giant makes a move. The rest of the industry is going to be paying attention here. If EA is going to be pushing $80 games like Nintendo is, the rest are going to see if they could try it. Ubisoft will try it. If EA just cuts single player projects and just goes full live service, Activision and Take-Two are going to take notice and possibly follow. With a $200 billion a year flow going through the gaming industry at this point, every investor and politician with power wants a slice of this pie. With something this huge, they want a piece of it. That means there's going to be less focus on art, creativity, and risk taking. There's going to be more focus on squeezing as much money out of players as possible. And EA was already one of the biggest culprits of that. So EA getting bought isn't just about EA. Okay, it's exciting news. It's interesting, but this is going to affect the future of gaming and whether the next decade is full of bold new ideas or if it's just going to be endless microtransaction machines built by companies more loyal to investors than actual players. I mean, this is private, so I guess investment firms at this point. They don't have to answer to shareholders. They don't have to answer to anybody that has shareholder concerns anymore. They could just do what the board of their private company wants now. Personally, I'm not optimistic with this. I do want to hear from you guys, though, because this is probably the biggest story of this past 24 hours. Do you think this acquisition is going to actually improve EA, or is this the beginning of an even uglier era for them, which is, I shiver to even think about that at this point. Drop your thoughts in the comments down below. Make sure you're subscribed to this channel as well. We're headed to 96,000 subscribers at this point. So excited. Don't forget to like or dislike, and I will see you on the next video, guys. Thank you so much for watching. As always, peace out.